Hello and welcome to the Plot Twist podcast. My name is Catherine. I am coming to you from the north of Germany and I'm back. What can I say? I'm back. I'm so happy to finally record another episode and oh my God, fingers crossed that this time is going to work with the audio because I obviously never meant to be gone from this space for so long. So I think the last episode I uploaded a very small episode during the summer that was just like a few minutes and just a quick little chat. And before that, I think it was the beginning of summer. I didn't even check now, but it's been forever since I've been here. And then we had summer holidays during which I could record 2 episodes. My German one, my quarterly, well, now it's not quarterly because I never could publish it, but like my quarterly one and my other one. And they both had to be thrown out because of audio issues that I couldn't solve, and neither could my husband, who's an IT guy. So like he couldn't even fix it. So there must be some issue with my other microphone. And I recorded 2 more episodes over the summer, like after summer break, and they were also not usable really with the audio that I had. And that was very frustrating. And so today, here I am with yet another try. So I hope this one is going to be good and can be published and put out there in the world. I got a new microphone, which I'm testing out today. I mean, I ran a few tests, but like this is the first video that I record. And I hope this is going to do the trick. So yeah, it's good to be back. I'm very glad I can catch up with you. And I have a few things to show you. I mean, there are a few things that I've finished in the meantime that is just like little tiny little things that I'm not showing you now, but I think I'm going to do it some other time. I cannot squeeze everything into this one episode today just because of time limitations, because obviously everybody is ill again. I have a bit of a cough, so if there is a few edits in this video, you will know why. And also I have my daughter at home who's only 3 years old. She's sick and she's feeling all right, but she cannot go to kindergarten, so she's home clapping for me in the background. So she's in the room with me, and I hope you will not hear too much like a background noise, but I think we should be good. Anyway, that's why I want to be quick and efficient today, but I absolutely wanted to catch up today. The next days, it's not going to be possible again, and I just refuse pushing this any further. So here I am. I will start like I always do with what I've finished, like what's jumped off my needles. And well, for those of you who can still remember from all those months ago, the elephant in the room will be my Velcor vest that I am wearing today. So this one's off my needles. I've been knitting on it for quite a while. And maybe it's a good thing that well, I don't want to go that far, but the only good thing about, let's put it that way, the only good thing about the videos that got lost is, or the only good thing about the fact that those videos did get lost is that you didn't have to hear me cry about slip stitches, because this is a slip stitch pattern. So this is the Velcor vest by Andrea Mowry. I've knit it before. I'm going to link the vest that I knit before, which I have since gifted because those weren't my colors at all. And now I've chosen the same yarn again. Both of those batches of yarn for the first and now the second vest were bought on a family trip to Denmark, albeit like in different years, but I got the exact same yarn, just different colors for the same project again, and eventually cast it on. Let it, hibernate for a while, and then picked it back up and thought I have to finish this because I want to wear it. I want to have it ready for fall. So, and here I am in fall wearing it. So that one, worked out. But you can see that like these columns that run up are all slip stitches. So with one color, you sort of knit a twisted stitch sort of situation, and then with the other color, you slip those. And it doesn't sound like much, but it was such a hiccup for me. It was such a stop and go motion. And I don't know. I'm I don't remember it as being that, oh, what's the word? Upsetting, honestly, it could be the word. I don't remember it as being that much of a hiccup for me, but it was. And I pushed through, and I knew exactly how I knit the other one. And I wanted to have just as many repeats and everything like I did with the other. So it would be just the same, just in a different color combination. But I think it's too long. And while I really plowed through and it was such a labor of love, I think I could now have gotten rid of like one repeat, which is about this much, and which makes me sad for my past me, because I had such a hard time facing yet another repeat, you know. And now I think it turned out too long, and I don't know why. Maybe over the years, I mean, I could have had this idea before, that maybe over the years my gauge changed, which it obviously did. But I thought I had this covered, and I had knit this before, and there were going to be no surprises. So got this wrong. The thing is, at first I thought I can insert my needle in all the right stitches and then just cut a piece out and then Kitchener it back together. But with these stitches, I don't know that it's necessarily going to work, and I don't know that I want to try, because I might just mess it up entirely, and that would be such pity. So I don't know. But the way that it's now, like, it's a bit longer, and you might say, well, that's good because it's warmer, but I think it looks a little bit frumpy. And that, sadly, that is the word. I think it looks a little bit like, it makes me look much older than I am, you know? So I don't know. And I don't know if I want to either wear like a piece that I feel a little frumpy in, or have a piece that I'm like, I'm gonna wear this around the house. Because also around the house I want to wear stuff that makes me feel good about myself, and I don't know what to do with that vest yet. But I'm happy it's off my needles. The finishing part, so like everything from splitting for the sleeves upwards, when you knit the portions flat and then sew them together, that was very enjoyable. I stopped resenting those slip stitches so much once I hit this part, because I was closer to binding off maybe, and also because the rows were just half as long, even though twice as many. But I could fool myself into thinking I'm making such fast progress. And then it was really fun. So I did enjoy knitting this. And I also enjoy wearing it. It is light as a feather, and it's very warm. And so that's all, like, that's all a win. But I'm not sure, the fit is just not what I was going for. Okay. And well, I wanted to say two things. So one is, oh yeah, one is the fit I'm kind of unhappy with. And like the other is the colors. I should have chosen them differently, but I had bought the quantities according to to the yardage that I would need for the main color, and then contrast color A, which is this light pink, and contrast color B, which is this sort of white light gray thing that's going right here. But like, this is not much of a contrast, so you can't really see the contrast stripe, I don't think. And also I would have now always chosen the light pink to be my main color. I think it wouldn't have washed me out as much. Not that I think it washes me out that much. Also, it doesn't matter. Like, if I like the colors, I don't care. But these are two things. So the colors and the fit, that now I'm like, this is not my favorite piece. It's okay though. It doesn't have to be, right? And I mean, if bad comes to worse, I can always gift it yet again. And yeah, we will see. I don't think I'm going to, but I mean, I did not mean to start on such a negative note. So I've bound this off. I'm wearing it. It's keeping me warm, and that's all on the plus side. So yeah, and that's the end of that long project, of that long saga. Maybe it didn't seem as long to you, but it sure did to me, because I recorded so many iterations, so many different videos where I was at different stages in that project, and now it's off my needles, and that's always a good feeling. Okay, I forgot to say what the yarn is. The yarn is Isaya Alpaca 2. The individual colors I now don't know, but I'll link my project page so you can check this out. And it's just an absolute dream. This yarn is just so fun to work with. It's beautiful. It's light as a feather, like I said. If you want to wear it, it's so good. An absolute recommendation. Another thing I recently finished are these socks. I've been going strong with Socktober, even though I always forget to post about it. Totally. Like, I never remember to post for Socktober. And these are them. Let me show you. So these are my socks. I hope you can see. I hope you can see. These are my socks that I knit. It's a commercial yarn, which now I don't have the tag, so I cannot tell you, but I can link the page. Sorry, there are a lot of interruptions because my daughter did not want to, stay put on the couch, but she now wants to play chess. So there's going to be a few edits, and I hope it's not going to be too bothersome hearing her in the background. But anyway, so I did finish my socks, and they're knit out of some commercial yarn, which now I cannot tell you what that was, but I will link the project page down below, just like below this video, along with every other information, where you can find me on the internet, where you can send me an email if you want to, where you can support the podcast, and also like all the project pages. So that's all going to be there. So that was a quick sock project. It was something I had with me when I drove the kids places, or I had to wait for them, or I don't know what, so I could pick it up whenever. And that was my on-the-go project. I cast on, so this is a regular fingering weight sock yarn. I cast on 60 stitches with a 2.25 millimeter needle, and went for a 2x2 rib, and then switched into a 3x1, which I kept going across the back of the foot, and then I bound off so that it's a little too small for me, so as to make it fit a friend, because usually my friends usually have just feet that are just a little bit smaller than mine. So that is going to be a Christmas gift for someone. Okay, so now we can move into the works in progress section, of this podcast. I'm going to show you what I've shown you in my last video, the little, just a short little one that I filmed in the garden. That was kind of a spur of the moment sort of thing. And that is my stripe pipe sweater. Hold on. I haven't taken this out in a few days, so I need to sort out my things. There you go. This is it. This is my stripe pipe sweater, which I was so much in love with that I made really fast progress until I didn't. And I'm going to go into detail in a little moment. So these are my colors that I still had left over, like all of the purples and pinks that are in here. I'm going to hold it up for you. So all of the purples and pinks that are in here, I had left over from my half and half triangles wrap. Maybe you remember that one. I can link it for you. Such a fun project. And to tell you a little secret, yesterday, I ordered more yarn after thinking about it for weeks, if not months, to make one for a friend of mine, so don't tell her, out of the very same yarn, because it was so much fun. And it's okay if it's a forever project, because it doesn't have to be finished, anytime soon, but I really wanted to cast this on. Anyway, so I'm very excited for this yarn delivery to arrive at my doorstep. But all of the colorful yarns are leftovers from that project, and it's Ramafinul PT2 or just Ramafinul, both of those. And there are some exceptions, like I think this one and this one right here, this color right here, and I think this one right here, that are Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. And I wanted to use up all of those scraps. The thing is now, which is why I didn't make any more progress than this. I mean, I do have 2 sleeves, but they're too short, and I have a body, but it's too short. Oh, I think I'm covering my microphone. I hope it doesn't make any weird noises. I'm still getting used to this, so cut me some slack, and be patient with me as I get used to having a microphone attached, to my clothes, so I don't cover it up all the time or touch it or I don't know what. So yeah, since I was running out of my leftovers, I couldn't really go on, and then I ran out of my hand spun. So I ordered more, just a few more, I think 3 more colors to keep the stripes going. And I have another project that those leftovers are going to go into, and I'm going to show you in a bit. And since the other color here, so the main color, if you will, the one that is a little bit like beigey color, that is going throughout the entire sweater, is my hand spun. And it's the first time that I'm knitting with my hand spun. I could just easily spin up a little bit more and then use it for that sweater. But that makes it a project that is pretty slow going, while in the beginning it went so fast, and then it came to a little bit of a halt. Progress, stop, progress, now waiting for the yarn to come. So and also other things have caught my attention, so, and that's totally okay. I've tried it on, it fits. Now I'm trying to not cover the microphone again, but in the pattern you see a sweater consisting of 9 contrast color stripes, and that is certainly not enough for me, because I am at 9 stripes now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is my 10th stripe, so now I have yarn in my face. Who doesn't, right? And I still have to keep going. I mean, for the body, I would say this is my 10th stripe, and then I'll add 2 more. And for the sleeves, I think I'm at 6 stripes. I think I'll add 2 more. So yeah, that is not so far from being completed. But it will take me a few minutes, and it's totally okay. I'll use this color that I used for my collar up here, this one. I'll use that to bind off everywhere, because in the beginning so for cuffs and then for the hem, because in the beginning I was thinking I could also use just whatever I have, whatever color I have left over enough of, to bind off the different sections. It would also be a fun look. But then I thought, since the entire sweater is so busy throughout, it is good to tie it together and give it just a little bit of structure, with the same color repeating itself on the cuffs, the neckband, and then the hem. So that's what I'm going with. So this is also a color that I've ordered more of. I love this color. This is Jameson and Smith. I love it. I cannot tell you now what it is, but okay, so, and that is it. Yeah. What more can I say? Stripe pipe sweater. I'll link the designer below. Kutuvaikika, is that her name? Could be. She's a Finnish designer, beautiful designer. It's so much fun to knit this pattern, and I'm knitting it on 3mm needles. Not that it matters because everybody is different with that. Most people use larger needles than I because I'm a large knitter. And I can show you my my little progress keeper that I have on here, which is a birthday cake that was included in one yarn club package that I received from, that I bought from Molly of a Homespun House years ago, pre-COVID for sure. Up next, I have a project that you may remember if you've been here for a moment, because I knit on this quite a while in the past, and now it's making a comeback after a few months of hibernation during the summer. And I'm talking about not my hibernation, but my habitation throw, which I will somehow show you in a bit because it's very big. We had, so the kids were on fall break. That was for 2.5 weeks in the beginning of October. Yeah. Those weeks were so good. We had a lot of I had a lot of things on my plate before then, and I was just am very burned out and very exhausted, which is also why I didn't podcast for so long. So that's part of the reason. But I just thought I need to take these 2.5 weeks of fall break to really dial it back, to just, is that how I say that? To really take it slower and make space for my making throughout the day and give myself grace and just the what's the word? To just, I don't know, to just be, and not do something all the time. But I try to, after breakfast, just remain seated at the table and knit away for 1 or 2 hours if I could. Wasn't always possible, but to just start the day off slow and with intention and give myself time to just rest, And I had, since we didn't have to get up very early in the morning, she's yawning, she's so cute. So since we didn't have to get up so early in the morning, I could sit on the sofa after the kids had gone to bed, and my husband would usually take them. So I really had me alone time. And I could just be on the sofa and watch something and knit away. And I did that for, I don't know, 3 hours, maybe 4, every evening. Not every evening, but most evenings. I could at least get 2.5, 3 hours of just me time in on the couch. And I would go to bed pretty late, I know. But I just cherish this time so much. And whenever I can get a chance to just remain downstairs on the couch and keep knitting at night, that is just my favorite time of the day, honestly. So that's what I did, and that's what I knit. I knit on my habitation throw, so, which is to say I knit so much, but it's one of those projects where you knit on it forever and then it doesn't look like it. If you've knit one, or if you're a blanket knitter, generally, you will know what I'm talking about. So I'm debating now how to show you. I'm going to show you, I will try and show you the entire thing, and then I will show you the progress that I've made, okay? Ignore the ends hanging out. They're going to be woven in at the very end. Here you go. It's a lot to maneuver. Ta-da! So this is my blanket. This is the bottom half. Oh man, this is all getting tangled. So there you go. This is the bottom portion, which is so wide that it's about my wingspan. So about 180. Or I've watched Inga's podcast today, Inga of Knitting Traditions, and she said she's 1 meter 77, which is I'm 179, so we're almost equally as tall. But she always said before that she was 5'11", and I was under the impression that I was 5'9". So I don't know, but it's long. It's a good size, you know. And this is how much I've knit on it since. So I was at, so if you've knit a habitation throw, you know it's knit from the tip, you increase, and then at a certain point you decrease. And I was at the point where I had increased all the way and I wanted to start decreasing. I was at the very moment when you switch. That's when I put it down. So at the widest, when the blanket is at the widest, that's where I put it down. And that was exactly here. See? Going up and then decreasing down. So I knit the remainder of this purpley pinky color right here, and then all of those ones that go up to here. So this is what I knit. It doesn't look like so much. Like I said before, now I have to be careful that I don't drop all of my stitches. But I mean, it's a lot. Here I was at a good 400 stitches every row, and now I'm at somewhere in the 200s. And I'll have to decrease further down. Now it's obviously decreasing faster and faster and faster, so I can use smaller amounts of leftovers and still get the same width of you know, the individual stripes. Not that I'm counting, but and you know, but I have busted through so much of my stash that I don't really have that much left that I can put in here, you know. I'm pretty much out of yarn for this project, which is why I decided to now, I mean, I can always finish this little bit off, and then I have another little scrap that I can put in. But I decided to just let it sit now. Show you again. I mean, I really love the colors. I really love these together, like this bit right here. I think this is just so pretty. These colors together. It's a lot of fun, this blanket is, and it was just like mindless knitting for, you know, the sake of relaxing and just winding down and all that jazz. And what was I saying before? I can add a few more scraps right here, but then I'm pretty much out of scraps. And or I have leftovers that are so tiny that I will use them for the very tip. But I decided to now wait for my advent calendars to arrive because I'm doing a swap with my friend Claire, hi, in Australia. I'm doing an advent calendar swap with my friend Francie, hi, in Germany. And I've also ordered the 4 Sundays of Advent from Molly of a Homespun House, but I went for the 50-gram skeins, so it's not a huge thing. And I want to wait how they look together and then decide, you know, what I do with them. But chances are there's going to be something left over from this project or from those skeins, or, you know. So I don't know. I'll see. But I've knit on this a lot now. Um, and I'm ready to put it down again for a minute. And then when I pick it up again, I think I'm gonna rush through it and just finish it. And then we'll have another family blanket, which is going to be great and also much needed because my kids are growing and they enjoy, you know, movie nights when they get to have one. And I think we need this to bundle up and snuggle up in, and it's going to be so cozy. So I'm trying to be careful not to cover my microphone, but look at this. Isn't this so fun and just like, I don't know, so squishy. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun project. I can absolutely recommend it. Another thing that I've cast on is something, well, I talked about before, but in those videos that I could toss. So you will not have heard of this maybe, but I was planning on casting on the, what's it called? Heirloom quilt cardigan. Heirloom or heritage? No, Heirloom quilt cardigan by Catherine Seeberger. And I did. There you go. This was my very first little quilt star that I knit. And yes, there is a tiny little mistake. If you saw it, I know I'm going to duplicate stitch it or just leave it because I don't care. But oh, hold on there. No, this is just the other yarn showing through. This is what it looks like from the back. This is my first time knitting color work flat, which I've never done before. I will say it is a little finicky in that I find it hard to, I mean, you cannot really visualize the pattern when you're working from, you know, the back side. And it doesn't look like that when you work on it because it's all curled up. So this was blocked, right? But so I've now knit a handful of these, I think 4, and I'm on my 5th of these quilts. But my gauge is a little smaller because I went with Rauma Finul and all sorts of non-superwash scraps that I have, and they're usually not DK but fingering weight, and I don't like knitting color work with strands held double. I've done it before and I don't really enjoy it. And so I have decided to go with, you know, that gauge, which isn't far off from the original, but it just, the squares are just a little bit smaller, so that I will need a handful more. I'm not worried about that because I will just keep knitting these as I go and pile them up. And when I have knit 4 or 5, then I can do a little blocking session, and then, you know, so that it won't become overwhelming. And when I think I've gathered enough, I can sew them all together and then do the finishing, which I will do in a light gray, which is also a Rauma Finul color, and I think the same gray color that I also used in my half and half triangles wrap, because I have leftovers. I've ordered 1 skein more, or 1 ball extra, and that should really be enough. And I'm mixing, I think I'm also mixing that with Jamieson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight, where I have 2 balls of yarn, but 25-gram balls, that is, in almost the exact same shade of gray. So I thought that's going to be okay. I can use one for the neckband and the other for like all the rest. So yeah, that's also a project that I've started, that I've been meaning to start for quite a while. So I wanted to cast this on for quite some time. And I was a little bit nervous about which yarn to pick. But then I thought I'm just going to go with what I have and just put together those colors that I think are fun. I'm going to go, you know, with my comfort zone, but also like include yellow and and a little bit of orange, and like colors that I don't usually wear because I think for this project that is just perfect, because there is going to be so many every little square is two colors anyway, and you can, but I'm not going to go for all the same color. I'm not going to go for dark gray and light gray all the time. You could do that. It would look fun, but I'm not going to do that. So if everything is like a different color combination anyway, you can throw in a little yellow and it's not going to wash you out, So that's going to be fun, and that is something fun to do with those little scraps that I have, or, skeins from advent calendars. So I'm really excited for this one, and you will see more of it in the next videos. Other than that, I had my moment during October, and that was also part of my self-care train that I was on, in terms of making time to what is happening here, to knit, and just I wanted to indulge. When I thought I want to cast on a few socks, why not do it? Go crazy, have 3 socks going at once. Who gives a tiny rat's ass, So I grabbed my sock yarns, and yes, also bought a new one, and just cast on. I've cast on this yarn. This is a birthday edition, which is a heavy, so it's commercial sock yarn. It's a heavy DK weight, I would say. So it's going to be a very quick project. The colorway is 8080, and the whole thing looks like that. So you can tell it's going to be self-striping. I was out of circulars, so I had to gravitate, or to pick up my what's it called, DPNs. And I only cast on the cuff, but I got them going, and it's just fun to knit up some really, I want to say, chunky socks. So like, I'm usually knitting fingering weight socks, and to have something as substantial going as this, it's just a lot of fun. And these are, I think I have enough yarn to knit 1 pair for me and to gift 1. And so it's going to be a quick gift knit. That's also a plus. And I'm keeping these in my little DPN cozy, and I love the sound of the snapping. I could do this all day. I also cast on another pair of socks with larger yarn. Is that the way to put that? So while the other is a 6-ply, this is while the other is an 8-ply, so really substantial. This is a 6-ply, and I would say this is like a DK weight, or almost heavy sport weight, a light DK weight, something like that. We don't have weights in Germany, so I'm knitting this on a 2.5 millimeter needle. Other people might knit it on a 3 millimeter needle. I don't know. So there you go. So this is Regia 6-ply. The colorway is 4911, and I got 100 grams, and I'm knitting a sweet little sock in my favorite colors, really. There you go. I have a cinnamon roll on this project. So I'm into the heel. Oh, I hope you could see with that, thing in front. There you go. I'm into the heel, and I'm knitting the heel flap, and I'm just going to go for a heel flap and gusset, like as per usual with me. That's how I always knit my socks. Because they fit me best, and I think these are ones that I might actually keep, or it's going to be enough for 2 pairs of socks, in which case 1 is going to be gifted, 1 is going to be kept, just like with the other ones. And Then I have another project in here that is super fun, another sock project that I cast on just a few days ago, like the chunkier socks. And this is knit out of West Yorkshire Spinners signature sparkle 4-ply. So last year's Christmas colorway, that is gold stellina all the way through. The colorway is called Nutcracker 1166. And this is, it's hard for me to get West Yorkshire Spinners in Germany. And I always love it when I get to knit with that brand. I think it's like a German commercial sock yarn. So I think it's very sturdy and long lasting. So, and this is such a fun, sparkly colorway. Claire gifted this to me last year in my advent calendar, and I cast on now for this year. So I'm gonna be able and wear those for Advent, or like when we really are in the Christmas mood. I want for those to be ready or about to be ready. And that is what it looks like. Hold on. There you go. There is a little, you know, hot chocolate guy on there. I don't know if you can see him. Here again, I cast on with a 2.25 millimeter needle, 60 stitches, 2x2 ribbing, and then switched for 3x1. With the others, I went for, I cast on 52 stitches, I think. And I will see if with the chunkier yarn, if it's too much, like if it's too many stitches. In which case I will have to recast on, and it's no biggie because it's such heavy yarn that it knits up in a second. So maybe I can even go for 48 with this one. Not sure. Yeah, that remains to be seen. And I have selected two contrasting yarns, just scraps that I have to go with, or partial skeins that I have to go with the sock. So I think I might end up knitting one heel in this golden yellow and one heel in this Christmas red. Maybe that's what I'll do. It might be fun. I think they each just fit very well. But I grabbed those from my stash and put them in my bag, and that's the story with these socks. So I was just in a sock mood, and I just was frivolous and casting on, and I don't regret it one bit. It was so much fun. And now I can show you the bag. It's my Fringe supply bag with my little lovelies on. Maybe you can tell. And today I have a mending segment for you, which I haven't done in way too long. But yesterday I had a real hardcore mending day. I took out my sewing machine and got a few sewing jobs done where some things were smaller, jobs, others were more substantial. So I tried to get those out of the way. And then I saw my husband's pair of pants that I'd forgotten needed mending, and also took care of those. So that's what they look like, just work pants, right? And one knee was ripped. And maybe you can still tell. Would have been right here. I'm going to hold it up close. See? If you're a sewer, you will already have seen what I did. I did not want to put a patch on the knee, which he would have been fine with, but I didn't have a patch that matched this color. The colors that I used are those. That would have been fun on the outside, so it had to go on the inside. But what I did is I cut out this patch, put it on the inside, and put my hand in like this, and then put the pins in from the outside so that the cut would be nice and centered on the patch. And then I would also, with the pins, delineate the outlines of that patch so that I would know how far I would have to go with my sewing machine, when sewing on the patch. And then I managed, luckily, to pin the cut down on the patch so that it wouldn't rip open, but really overlap just the tiniest little bit, so that I was able to sew it back together and not have the other fabric showing through, because I really wanted to avoid that. It would have looked stupid. And I just picked a thread that would somehow match the color of the pants so that it wouldn't, jump at you. It doesn't have to be invisible. Obviously, it's not, but I just wanted for it to not be too busy. And then I just sewed with a straight stitch, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So like it looks like a zigzag, but it's a straight stitch that I went up and down, and just maneuvered the fabric just so it would go sideways instead of remain in one place. And just sewed this stitch shut so that it wouldn't rip open later on. And then I went in bigger trenches, is that the word? I went in, bigger lines, and just covered all of this so as to also reinforce the entire sort of area around the place where it was ripped open. Because what's going to happen is it's going to rip just like 1 centimeter below, because the entire area has worn a little bit thin and is a bit too delicate now. So I tried to, reinforce it, go as wide as, or a little bit wider than my patch on the inside, and managed to sew it back on. I think you can hardly tell when he walks around with these. Now he's allowed to do that because I told him I had to keep them for the podcast, because this is such an easy mend. Yes, it takes a moment. The whole thing is maybe a job of a half an hour. I don't know, something in that neighborhood. If it's on the inside, like if you have to go on the inside of your thighs, it might take a little bit longer just because the area, it's more fiddly putting it under the machine and stuff. But it is not hard to do. All you have to be able to do is sew a straight line, and the pants are saved, Otherwise, he would have had to have bought a new pair. And so all that money is saved, and all that, like, he really loves his work pants. Some of them you can't buy anymore because they just have new models out, but those are the ones that he really loves. So it's worth taking that time to mend them. So, okay, now the school rang and I have to pick up my son because he's not feeling well. So we've got a theme going here, I think. But I just wanted to include this because finally I could have another mending segment. Maybe you will feel inspired to also show your torn clothes or those of your loved ones some love. So now I have to run. All I can say is thank you for checking out the channel or for even coming back. I hope you have some knitting or crafting in your life that brings you joy, and you feel like coming back next time, whenever that's going to be. I hope in 2 weeks or something like that, when I will be back with another video for you. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for allowing me to hang out with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.